2, 3, 4.
In July of 2010, David Newbould entered the studio to cut his 5th studio record. It was a snapshot of David's life that involved packing up and moving to Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville's a place where the more you're working on songs, the more you feel you're in agreement with everything going on around you, which worked perfectly for me because that's sort of how I've always operated.
I remember sitting along the banks when we were young, building tanks. We never thought we had to give thanks for what.
I'd never really watched songwriting as an industry before. I kind of understand the necessity of it. It really hasn't changed the way I work, though. I kind of work at my own pace and get things done the way I want them to get done.
David really had to reteach himself how to find the right bars on any given night to befriend the best musicians and collaborators the town had to offer.
Nothing left to show. California, I don't think so, or anywhere.
You know, you start when you're young and you want certain goals, and kind of like the CIA, you know, you hear stories about it's sort of like It Finds You. You hear these stories about, you know, the CIA. It's dark and mysterious, and they they find these people who kind of don't really have much going on, and they're outcasts, and they just sort of approach them.
David found new stories and new people to write about that related to the life he had just chosen for himself in Nashville. He wrote a lot about the drifters and disillusioned people he's come across in his life.
Drifting is kind of a natural state of being for a lot of people, but I think it really becomes defined and in focus when there's actually something holding them, when they have to make a decision on whether they're going to drift or they're not.
David found that these people exist everywhere you go, from the furthest reaches of the globe to the four corners of America to Nashville, Tennessee.
Drifting, drifting, drifting with this big old heart of mine.
Sonically, this record is the work of David's longtime friend and producer, Ben Strano. Ben had heard David's previous records, seen him live, and wanted this album to feel like a live performance.
I feel like you're always trying to get as close to the raw who you are and what you're trying to say as possible on every record or everything you make, and I can say certainly this is the most successful I've been at that so far.
On the song You're With Me, David collaborated with singer-songwriter Calisa.
We had gotten together to write, and I was taken by not only her writing but her incredible singing. I just thought she had the most gifted voice, and I wanted to write a song that we could sing together as kind of a duet. And that's when normally I might put it down and come back to it, but I called her up and I said, why don't you come over? I have this song I kind of was thinking we could sing together, but it's not done, so maybe we can write it together. So she came over and made all the difference, came up with a lot of great lines to it and parts, and sort of helped me with, this line's not so good, this line's great, I really like this. I like this verse, I like the imagery, I like what you're saying, I like what we could say with it. And so it got finished very easily. She came to the studio and we cut it completely live in the studio, and it's one of the only times I really got the chills as soon as we finished the take, but we all knew that was the take. I just got up and ran over to her and hugged her, and I was just like, we got it, we got something good here.
For the first time in his career, David brought some other people into the writing process. You're With Me is one of 4 co-written songs on the album.
On Tennessee, I was really working to just capture a moment in time. We cut it all live in the studio with the band, both sessions really, and I think it was mostly just about bringing in a song, us learning it, turning on the machine and go, just taking advantage of the musicianship here, and like I say, just trying to capture a moment in time in the studio and trying to capture a moment in time in my life too. Lucinda was a track about this guy who sort of gives it all up, heads out west, meets this strange woman. She just kind of comes and like opens a seed in his brain, and then he's stuck because now he can't go back. And we just kind of like the idea of coming to kind of a crossroad like that, and just realizing you can't go back and he's stuck.
So David and Ben cut everything in what's become a very non-Nashville kind of way, singing and playing everything live off the floor, all in one room, with a minimal amount of overdubs.
Not hearing what you're telling me, not waking up from your dreams. Is it overblown? 'Cause baby, when I'm home, I know what I'm here, I know where we've gone. Could watch the sunset every night. Factories were full, our city had it right. Tax assessors came. It's all kind of has a ripple effect, and the more important things get to you in your life, and the more serious things you have that you don't want to let go of, the more the past decisions you may have made hold weight still. Things that we've done, things that we've done.
David had no idea what life was going to bring him, but he's glad it brought him these songs, these collaborators, and this album.
This is a song I wrote for my wife.
Just started doing this, I don't know why. And then we put together some lines about things that had just happened. You know, I'd cleared out the closet, I'd picked some flowers to put on the floor for her when she arrived, and so we just kind of pieced the whole thing together, and I talked about how it was going for a long time, and that's what I do, but, you know, I'm always coming back, and we just kind of made it happen.
A little over 2 years later, the record Tennessee was complete.
Went down to the hardware store, made a couple keys, picked some yellow flowers from the garden. Follow the path of petals, you'll find everything you need. I can't promise you won't miss the sunset in Texas and cry. But I'll do my best, baby, to wipe your eyes dry. I may go for days where my guitar takes me. That's just what I do.